Very good
Okay.
afternoon, everybody. Yep, Jackie.
Okay, I am going to say hi, everybody, and welcome to our last session of day 3 of Future Skills Week at Ulster University. And we're going to be working on a session today called Office 365 Tips and Tricks. And we are so delighted to welcome back Patricia Hines from Train It in Dungannon, who took us through a complete whistle-stop tour of Excel just there now. I don't know how you have the energy to do another one, Patricia, but it was phenomenal and the students just absolutely loved it. So great tips and tricks. So we're looking forward to this next session, and I'm just going to stop sharing now and let you take over. So as always, guys, we want to see good interaction from you during the session. You know, let Patricia know how she's doing with and what you think of these tips and tricks. You know, give her thumbs up, give her hearts, give her lovely little messages in the chat. If you do need, there's a message coming in already from Brenda, who's been very active this week. Brenda, thank you. She really enjoyed the last session.
Thank you, Brenda.
So do put questions in the chat. If there was something that Patricia did that you kind of go, ooh, that was very fast. Can you do that again? Can you just put that in too, and we'll see how we get on. But Patricia, I'm looking forward to it. Always learning from you. I should say to those who weren't at the last session, Patricia and I go way back to the days of ECDL, and Patricia put me through my advanced ECDL to get my expert certificate. So I'm a big fan. So here we go, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Okay, very good afternoon, everybody. I'm just edging to share more shortcuts and more tips and tricks with you. Um, so, so what I'm going to do, first of all, I will share my screen with you, 2 secs. And I'm going to start off with Microsoft Word. Now, I know Jackie's been doing some Microsoft Word yesterday, but I'll probably go from a slightly different angle and with a few wee shortcuts. Right, first things first. If anybody is sitting in front of their computer, would you do me a favour? Will you put your cap locks on? Will you type in good afternoon spelt incorrectly? Press the enter key. Is it being highlighted as being misspelled? That is a very dangerous setting in Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word have the default setting to ignore words in uppercase. Now, you could be sitting doing a report, you could have 40 pages, 80 pages, pile of headings, you could run the spell check through, and you could have a pile of spellings with the headings. So that's the first thing I'm going to get you to change, folks. So we'll go into the backstage view for this. So go to File and go to Options, please, and go to Proofing. Remove that tick where it says Ignore words in uppercase, and OK that. So you'll notice now that we have the spelling, the misspelling highlighted. Happy enough? So some of the stuff I'm going to do, folks, is general stuff, some 365 related, but it's all stuff that I would teach in all the different applications that people find useful. So happy enough so far. Right, so say that is really, really useful, okay? Now, the other thing I would tend to do, and again, I would tend to say to people at the very start when they get their software and update their software and whatnot, see the quick access toolbar at the very top here? I would tend to add common tools up here on the quick access toolbar. And one of the things that I would get you to add is the email. So for any of you that are working on a document and you're sort of thinking, look, I need to email a report or whatever to the university. So you literally can just click on the email icon from the quick access toolbar. So for those of you that have never used or added anything onto the quick access toolbar, this is it above the ribbon. Okay, at the very end of the quick access toolbar, now unless you have physically added stuff on there, you'll just have your save and undo and redo, which if it's not down here, okay, on the ribbon. So to the right of the quick access toolbar, any of these standard ones, okay, so you open, saves already there, email, quick print, print preview. Now, as you add one, you'll notice this disappears again. So what you can do, you can go to more commands if you want, and you can add them from here and click on add. Now, there's your email one. So if I want to attach the open document, I can simply go to my email. That will open my Microsoft Outlook with the open document attached. That is such a useful tool in any of the applications, whether it be Excel, whether it be Word, etc., etc. And the good thing about this is you don't even physically have to save the document first. You can attach it straight away without saving. So I'll close my email. Now, the other thing you will notice as well, um, your ruler. I would never dream of working in Microsoft Word without my ruler bar. So again, I'm going to go to the View tab and I'm going to place a wee check where it says ruler. Okay, everybody okay with that? Now again, another setting, and again, it's not specific, none of this is specific to 365, and I will look about sharing and stuff like that and version history and that. But these are all wee tools that I would tend to use and teach in business. Setting the default font for your organization. Again, this is something that people tend to go and do physically every time they go to do a document, which can be an absolute pain. Now, the default font is your Calibri. And again, with the newer versions of Microsoft Excel, Microsoft have decided, oh, they like line space and certain line spacing between different lines and paragraphs. Again, that annoys the hell out of me. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you how to change your default font and your default paragraph and line spacing. So we don't physically change the font from here. If you want, Eilish, you have my idea as well, Ariel. Okay, so Jackie, you're with me there, aren't you? So we're going to go to the wee dialog launcher at the bottom right of the font group. Choose whatever font you want, whatever default font and the size. Okay, if you're using Calibri, it's generally 11. That would be Microsoft's default, but we don't have to accept that. I have Arial there, size 11, and again, go to set as default. Choose all documents based on the normal template and OK that with whatever your default is. And again, the paragraph one. So click on the dialog launcher at the bottom right of the paragraph group. And again, spacing. This is something that I would tend to put back to the old default. Spacing before and spacing after. I would put that back to 0 and make sure your line spacing is at single. And again, set as default, all documents based on the normal template and OK that. That okay? So again, that's one of the things, particularly if you're in business where you have a specific font that you have to use throughout the business. So another question I'm going to ask, okay? So I'm going to type my name in here. I'm going to highlight my name, okay? I'm going to increase the font and make it bold. I'm going to italic. I'm going to change the color. Right. Can any of you tell me if I have my text highlighted, does it matter whether I use my delete key or my backspace key to delete that text? Tell me, give me a thumbs up if you all think it does exactly the same thing.
Got a few no's here.
Few knows, okay.
Somebody says I
George,
always use delete. Francis is
okay,
giving a thumbs up.
okay. Do they both do the same thing? Backspace is slower. Right. When your text is highlighted, okay. Now I'm going to show you the difference here. If I use my backspace, now when it's highlighted, I'm not physically clicking and doing a tap on my backspace. So if I use my backspace key, so what's happened? The formatting has retained. It has basically deleted your text, but it's retained the formatting. So I'm going to do Control Z just to undo that. I'm going to use my delete key this time. I rest my case. Okay?
Very good. Very
There
good.
is a difference. How many of you realised there was a difference? Honestly. Okay. Now again, that's something the difference. So your backspace key will delete the text. Good. Will delete the text, but the delete key will remove the formatting and the text. I'm just going to undo that a wee second. Okay. So if I have my text highlighted here, okay, and let's say somebody, and again, this is something that happens to me quite often, clients will send me reports and they'll say, Patricia, do me a favour, will you fix that up for me? And I look at it and I'll go, what the, or where do I start? Okay, so the very first thing I will do here, okay, I will go in and say, right, let's clear any formatting. So from the styles groups, I'll just hit my normal style. So that basically removes any formatting and allows you to start from scratch. So again, that's something that you might want to choose there. Right, I know Jackie's already done this, but what I'm going to do, how many of you struggle with numbering when you're doing your assignments or dissertations, etc., etc.? Does anybody struggle with numbering? Okay, so I'm going to show you an idiot's guide to numbering, a multi-level list numbering. So there's a little code that you generate that will put text into your document. It's equal RAND, open bracket. So I'm going to do, say, 6, comma 6, close bracket, press the enter key. That's built into all your computers here, folks, okay? So the equal rand is short for random, and it's a good way of generating text. So if you're meant to be in class doing some coursework or online and the lecturer comes in and you're pretending you're working hard, type in, shh, okay, sorry, I'll not say that. I'll not say that, okay? Throw that in, they'll never know any different. Okay, so the 6, comma 6 means 6 sentences, 6 paragraphs. So that's what that means. I use it to demonstrate things in the likes of Microsoft Word. Right, Control A to select all the text here. From the paragraph group, okay, you've got your little automatic numbering that we all use on a daily basis, the wee 1, 2, 3. So if I click on that, right, so Microsoft Word has decided, yeah, apply numbering, but indent all the paragraphs. Yeah, happy days, not really what I want, but I'll forgive them for it for now. So I'm going to click into paragraph number 3 here, and I'm going to make paragraph number 3 a subparagraph of paragraph 2, simply by using the increase indent tool from the paragraph group. So if I click on increase indent, watch what happens to the numbering. Paragraph's indented and it starts renumbering. Now that's a very basic renumbering. So I'm going to reverse that, Control and Z, just to remove all the numbering here. Now, this time I'm going to go and I'm going to use the next one over from your standard numbering, and this is your multi-level list numbering. So I'm going to click on that. Now the option I'm going to choose here from the list library is the third one over, 1, 1.1, etc., etc. Now, the first thing you should notice that Microsoft Word has happily kept the numbers to the left-hand margin. It hasn't indented the paragraphs and the numbers, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on paragraph number 3 here, and I'm going to make paragraph number 3 a subparagraph of 2. So again, I'm going to use the increase indent. So I now have 2, 2.1. I'm going to click on the next paragraph down, and I'm going to increase indent twice because I'm going to make this paragraph a subparagraph of 2.1. So I'll do increase, increase. Okay. Now, you look at that, and if, like me, you look at that and say, oh, don't like the way that is actually displayed, I don't like the way the alignment of the paragraph. Now, I can fix that very, very easily. So if I right click where it says 2.11, just on the number, just right click on it. And if I go to adjust your line indents, and you see at the bottom where it says text indent at, just increase that a bit. So I'm going to increase it, say, to 2.4 and okay that. Now watch how that aligns up. I'll undo that, Control Z. That's the way it was before. So the first line is sort of indented and everything is hanging after that. Right click, adjust line length and text indent, increase that. Is that okay? Anything difficult about that? Now, what I will say, folks, if you are using the multi-line numbering or multi-level numbering, throw your text in first. Don't try and start numbering as you're going along. That's the key thing. Get your text in, highlight, and then you apply your numbering. Now, I might turn around and say, right, okay, I've got one. I might want that to say 1.0. So again, I'm going to right click, adjust line length, and again, after the one, after the full stop, I can put a 0 in there and okay that. So I get 1, 2, etc., etc. And again, if I need to indent that paragraph over, I can right click on the numbering, adjust line length. This is the one that you're always indenting a wee bit more and bring that up. Now, that okay? So, as I say, that is really, really useful if you're doing, as I say, automatic numbering. Now, again, if I get something like this sent to me now, I'd say I get, there's one organisation sends me through their stuff. I don't know how I ended up getting their work, but they send me it with a pile. I don't know who the hell they employ to do it, but their numbering is absolutely diabolical. Get it sent to me, and I'm basically told, look, can you fix this for me? So the first thing I do, like I said earlier, Control N to select all, go back to styles and click on normal. That removes any numbering, so it just means that I can start from scratch here. Is that okay? Brilliant. Ailish has made a comment there, and again, this is a few things that I'm doing here. What I get from students that maybe have left college a couple of years, and the thing that Will say to me, we wish we had known all this when we were at school or college to do the likes of coursework and stuff like that. So that is useful. So happy enough with that? Right.
Yep, this is great.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, again, I promise I'll move on to the other application now as well, but I want to, as I say, these are just a few wee shortcuts and tips and tricks. Right. I'm going to open a table. Okay. And I'm going to show you a wee shortcut on a table. So I'll open, right. Let's see. This is not the table. Always the table you don't bloody want. Okay. Right. So I'll open this one. Right. So I have a table here. And all I can say is thank God for Sage, because I keep exporting these reports from Sage and they're great for Excel and for Word. So I have a table here, okay? And what I have here, I have a column that I don't need. So if I highlight this column that I don't need, right click, and I'm going to say delete column. Now I'm looking at that and say that table looks absolutely diabolical. Now I'm not going to start double clicking and I'm not going to start dragging columns for the table to look better. I'm going to go straight in. Again, I talked, any of you that were in the last session, when you add something into a document in any of the application, you have your on-demand tabs, which will always be displayed at the end of the ribbon. So I'm going to go into the layout tab, the very last tab of my ribbon. I'm going to go to auto fit and I'm going to say auto fit contents. So that adjusts my table just to the width of each column, the text within each column. Now that's fine, but I still have a big gap over here for my window. So I will go straight and say auto fit window. So again, I don't drag, I don't mess about, just go straight to your auto fit. Now, what I have here again on the first page here, I have got headings on the first page, but I want to apply those headings on any continuous page that I have. So I'm going to highlight my headings here. Again, layout, and I'm going to say repeat header row. It's the very last tab in the ribbon here, repeat header row. Now watch, there I have my headings automatically. That will only work on a continuous table. It will not work if you have a split in your table, okay? Now, the other thing, and again, what people don't realise you can do here, okay? I'm going to click on the very last cell of the table. I'm going to press my tab key and I'm going to tab over. Now, I want to add up all the figures. Now, again, people don't realise you can do this in Excel or in Excel and Word. It is not Excel. You cannot use your fill handle, but you can do a straightforward sum and whatnot. So again, from the layout, I'm going to go and say formulas. You'll see the equal sum above and simply OK that. And there you have your total. If you have a table with figures in it, make sure that you have a zero. Okay, make sure you have a zero if you want to add your totals. Now, if I want to change one of my figures, say for example, let's change that figure to 270, I don't need to go back and do my formula again. The update shortcut is F4, or sorry, F9. F9 updates your field, so that will update your total there. That okay? Happy enough with that? Okay, so again, I'm just going to do two more things in update. Yeah, I'm going to go two more things in Word before I move on here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a new blank document. So Control and N for new. Is anybody guilty of using your space bar to try and align things? You get killed round and Gannon if you did that. If I was anywhere near you, you get your ass kicked. Okay.
This is what I was giving off about
Flip.
yesterday
Yeah,
about
Jackie.
space, 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 enter,
Yeah,
enter, enter to go onto a new
yeah,
page, and I was
yeah,
going bananas about it
yeah,
yesterday.
exactly. And that's one of the things I would do as well, and it drives me mad. So, for example, if I type the word name, and again, I'm going to be bad and use the space bar and say address and space bar, and I'll say town. Now, the first thing, if you send me a document, I'm a real cow, I'll put my show hide on. And that shows me that I've used the space. Not that I wouldn't dare use the space bar, but that somebody else has used the space bar. I have an accountant that sends me, would send me accounts to put into a report for them, and I'll put the show hide on. They're using the space bar to align their figures, and I sort of think, oh my god, right? So, don't ever use your space bar. At the very least, use the preset okay, your preset tabs. Now your preset tabs basically run every 1.27 centimeters. So if I want to tab over the address, press the tab key, and again, tab. Now watch when I put my show hide on. Notice the difference. I will not swear if you send me that, okay, because you've used your tab key. Now, again, this is something that, again, the rest of you will do, and I promise I'll not go on Microsoft Word because I'm going to move on. Again, one of the things, sorry, the show hide is the wee back to front P to switch,
I
and
think I
the
think you
tab
maybe
key.
meant the tab key. So
Okay,
the tab is above caps lock.
okay, just your opposite facing arrows.
Yeah.
And every time you press the tab key, it moves every 1.27 centimeters. Brenda, are you getting worried that the lecturers are going to put the show hide
Don't
on?
worry, the lecturers
Oh,
won't know. They won't
oh,
know
right,
that.
right, right, right.
You're all
I'm going to
right.
deliberately send you a Word document now, Patricia, and use the space bar just to really annoy you.
Oh no, there's Justin. How are you, Justin? Um, so what I'm gonna do now, okay, and again, this is a tab, okay? This is a tab, and it's really tabs with leaders. So again, if you're doing a document, you've something down the left-hand side, you've leaders that you want to guide your eye across the page, and an item down the right-hand side. So for example, maybe it could be a phone extension, it could be a cost or whatever. So again, I'm going to very quickly do this. So Justin, I'll be expecting great things from you now. So paragraph group, again, click on the wee dialogue launcher and go straight down to tabs. Now, again, this is one of the things that one of the reasons I will have my ruler bar switched on to start off with. Once you switch it on, you don't have to go back over it. Okay, that will remain there. Now, if I'm doing, say, a price list, or for any of you could be doing in your coursework, you could be doing an item left hand side, little dots guide your eye across the page, and an item on the right hand side. So what I'm going to do, I'm sort of gauge, say, right, okay, on my ruler bar, that might be a good idea, about 13 for a price. So tab stop position, I'm typing in 13. Don't need to change the 1.27 centimeters, okay? That's the default one. This one will temporarily override this one. I'm going to be putting figures in. I'm going to be putting prices in. So I'm going to put in my decimal tab and then the leaders. Okay. So leaders really, or a personal choice, depending on what you're doing. This second leader, which is really the first one that uses dots or whatever, is dots guide your eye across the page. The next one is basically your hyphens, and the next one is underscores. Again, personal choice. I'm going to do number 2. Because I'm only setting one tab stop, I don't need to click on set. I'm simply going to OK that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type the word T. Press the tab key. Type your pound sign in, 0.5 not. Right, tell me honestly, who gets a sore finger when they're doing that? Holding your finger down on the full stop. And the next one will say coffee, tab. Now, it looks as if it's running offline, but I have created a decimal tab. Hold down your pound sign, we'll say 0.75, and I'll do a final one, call it steak and chips.
This is the weirdest coffee shop.
This is the Dungannon one again, Jackie.
So I rented the tea and coffee's wild cheap down there. I have to go down.
We're a wee bit strange down this direction. So basically that's your tab stop. That okay? Right, press the enter key. One more thing, I promise you, and this is the last thing I'm going to do in Microsoft Word. I go into business. Is my nose growing? Sorry, telling lies again. I go into business. And people will say to me, I'll say, how do you do this? How do you confirm, blah, blah, blah. Basically, in terms of their documents, confirming the letter to their clients, etc., forms, etc., etc. So people say to me, okay, yeah, I would do templates. And I goes, boring. Because I know bloody rightly, when they mention the word template, they're talking rubbish, they're talking about a document. And then Joe Blogs, this Joe Bloggs syndrome that works in their company, goes in and opens this template, overtypes with new stuff. The autosave is on, or he oversaves and goes, oh crap. Never says, somebody goes behind him, tries to open it up and goes, what happened to my document? Why has somebody saved that with information in? And that is simply because they are not using a template. Okay? So, what is a template? So, right, again, I'm going to do Control and A to select all and press the delete key. So I'm going to do equal round and we'll say 6,6 again. Okay, I'm being boring here, but let's say that's what is this? This is an acceptance letter for a client. Okay, and it's a standard letter that I'm going to use over and over and over again, and I don't want people to go in and overtype the data. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Save As, browse. Don't worry about the location, okay? Because when I go to Save As Type and choose Word Template, that will default to my custom Office template folder. And I'm going to call this Client Acceptance Letter and save. Now I'm going to close that, okay? So Joe Bloggs is going to use the computer. He's going to do a new template. So going to go to File, going to go to New. Now, so what do I do? Do I go look for the template? No, I don't. I don't go and open. I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to head to Personal Templates, okay? And I'm going to go to, what do I call that? I have a memory on me like a goldfish.
Client acceptance
There,
letter, the
there it
first
is.
one. Yeah.
There it is there. They're all in alphabetical order. Okay, so there I have. Now, the key thing here is, look at the title bar. Does that say client acceptance letter? So if Joe Bloggs works with you, it doesn't matter if he goes in, messes it up, puts wrong information in and saves it, because that is a brand new document that has been opened and created based on my template. That okay? That's what a template is. How many honestly use templates? I should like to think you would, Jackie. So brilliant. In business, I find folks, I really find I go in and again, this week I have 2 clients, same thing. Oh, we do a template, blah, 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 blah. Now, and again, for template, the likes of this, what I can do, I can go to File New and I can save the likes of, say, my letterhead as a template. We don't have to go and file and open, etc., etc. Right, okay. Rabbited on enough about Microsoft Word. I'm going to look at the whole saving, okay? And I'm going to look at the version of documents as well. So, right. So if I say, right, okay, I'll close that and right, we'll use this one, okay, this document that I'm in here, okay? So when I'm going to go and save this document, okay, I can go straight just to my save command. Now, so where's this saving to? Okay, you can choose a location. Now, I will look at the whole aspect of OneDrive and SharePoint. OneDrive basically is for one. They are your personal documents, okay, until you want to share a document with someone else. They are personal to you. Sharing is for working documents where you want to share work with a team or organization. And again, I'll look at that when we go through a wee PowerPoint for this. But what I'm going to do here, location, okay, this is basically saving into my OneDrive, okay, and I can go in and choose a particular location, and I'll call it test document, okay, and click on save. Now, when you save something into OneDrive, your autosave is switched on by default. Hands up, who likes the autosave? Who doesn't like it? I'm sitting on the fence on it at the minute. I have splinters in my ass because sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. Okay, yeah, your version control, Justin, that's what we're going to look at now. Okay, so there's documents I would work on, particularly the likes of manuals and stuff, and I'm sitting working on them, updating them and whatnot. And the next thing, it's literally been saved before you get a chance to save a copy or whatever. And that's Justin's just made a comment there about version and version history. So it's important to know where to go and look for the version history of a document. So what I'm going to do here, okay, I'll just blah, 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 okay. And again, that's saving again. Now, all I have to do, up onto the title bar, the actual file title, if I click on here, I have a little button that says version history. So down the right hand side, I will get a list of versions of my document. So they're both being created today, okay? There's the latest version. But let's say, I didn't mean to do that. I need to go back a step. So you can literally go back to an earlier version. So you can. So that's really your version. Now, previous versions, you can copy content from this version or save this version as a separate file. So you have an option for compare or restore. So what I'm going to do again, I'll come out of Microsoft Word and I will look at some of the OneDrive and whatnot at the minute. So I'm going to close this. Has anybody any questions on anything in Microsoft Word? You all okay? So I'm going to close that. Now, I'm going to move into PowerPoint. And I'm going to move into a new blank presentation in PowerPoint. See these boys on the right hand side? Do you like them? Have you noticed the design ideas?
I actually do, and I use them.
I, Jackie, I have to say, I am in full agreement with you.
I
I
think they're brilliant.
absolutely love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's little effort and it makes them look, your presentation look that wee bit better. So what I'm going to do here, okay, I'll say, I don't know, spell this wrong. Okay. Um, there we go. Okay. So we've got our design ideas. Okay. Now on the right hand side, they're looking for things within the presentation, topic subjects within the presentation that they will offer us, you know, relevant layouts. that okay? Now, those design ideas are only available to you in 365. Even if you're sitting in Office 2019, you will not have that option. Okay, you will only have that if you're working in Office 365. Now, um, what I'm going to do here with Microsoft PowerPoint, right? Let's say that you want to do a little presentation, and it's all, I suppose, photo related. So you're not going to be adding text. So you can go in and you can create what's called a photo album. So we'll have a wee quick look at that, because this is actually quite useful, and it's good even for something for personal use or whatever. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab here, and I'm going to go to Photo Album, and I'm going to say New Photo Album. I'll then go and locate um, photographs that I want to use here, and I'll be very good and I'll go to my well organized folder. I sort of have to, photographs the only thing I flip and have well organized. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll promote Dungannon Park. Okay, so you'll all have to come down to Dungannon Park when you see this. So I'm going to add half a dozen photographs. They're probably quite big in size, and insert. Okay, and these are uploading. It will only take a second or two. Folks, if you've any family members that have maybe a big birthday coming up, or somebody's getting married, friends getting married, scan your photographs, put them all into a folder, and create a presentation using the photo album. This is very, very easy to do, and it's good fun, and it is very effective. So it is loading. Some of these are quite big.
Patricia, can I just jump in there, which makes life a little easier?
Hmm?
If you have an iPhone and you install OneDrive,
Yep,
you can actually then go into OneDrive, put it
yep,
on Wi-Fi, and it will automatically copy your whole camera roll
yep,
into OneDrive and upload them for you.
yep. It is useful, so it is. Now I'm using the desktop apps here, so I am. So there we have the photographs that I have chosen there. And again, if I go back to my insert, and if I go back to photo album, I can go back to edit photo album, and I can go in and say, right, okay, the option, the default is fit to slide. I can go in and say, I want one picture, I might want two pictures per slide, and say update. And again, I can go in and say, right, okay, apply a transition, go in and say that transition. And again, I want to say apply to all. Okay, so again, that's simply your photo album. Now, if you're doing like a slideshow, and if I'm doing, say, slideshow from the beginning, and both have just appeared here, okay, so what I can do on the slideshow, you can apply, I'll just bring this up, okay, now again, this is going to cover my presentation. I can add subtitles simply by right clicking and going to start subtitles. And again, that's new to the newer version in PowerPoint, where you've subtitles in the likes of Teams, but this is basically applying the newer version in Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, I'm going to close that a wee second. Crash course in PowerPoint, and don't save, and I'm going to go to Microsoft Outlook. So again, I shall open Microsoft Outlook, and again, if I go to new email, okay. Now, a couple of new things in Outlook 365, okay. So you have your poll option, and your poll option is basically based on Microsoft Forms. I'm sure, how many of you already use Forms, Microsoft Forms? Yeah. What about the rest? Anybody? Yeah. Very, very, very useful, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'll just literally do a quick poll here, okay? So I'll choose the poll. You get your poll on the right-hand side here. So what I'm going to say, we'll say long off for Easter. and we'll say 1 week, 4 weeks. I'm going to add an option and I'm going to say 2 months. Now, if you're one of these people that are completely undecided, what you can do, you can say, right, okay, multiple answers, okay? So you can maybe decide 1 week and 2 months, maybe. So if I go to next, and basically this is a preview, and I can go and say, right, add that poll to the email, and you will notice that the poll will be CC'd to you automatically, and you can go ahead and you can click on send. So that is new to 365. Okay. Now, a couple of things again. Microsoft Outlook is changing all the time, particularly in conjunction with Teams. There's more and more things Teams related in Microsoft Outlook. So what I can do, I'm just going to close this a wee second and I'm not going to send it. So there's Jackie, okay? So Jackie's email. Now, what I can do, how many of you look at the respond? Do any of you look at the respond area here? What I can do, I can show you a few things, okay? So this first one, I can forward that email as an attachment, or I can call Jackie again from my email. Directly above that, I can reply with instant messaging, and that will take me into Teams, and I can do basically messaging to Jackie to the email. And again, I can go in and I can set up a meeting using the respond option there, again from Microsoft Outlook. Close that a wee second. Again, I shall go to my new email options. Okay, again, updated here, you have the option for delay delivery of an email. So you can do an email, and if I go to delay a delivery, you can say, do not deliver before a certain time. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people that do emails at night, or you get an email from me very, very, very early in the morning or whatever, very late at night. So I'm trying to get out of that, and I'm using, do not deliver before, and I put a date and put a time in it, and then that will actually be sent slightly later. How many of you use or have used mail merge through Outlook? Email and mail merge. What about the rest of you? Has anybody emailed or done a mail merge letter? Can I show you again, because it's all Outlook related? A lot of people don't realise you can do this, and again, it is very, very useful. So again, I'm going to open, I've just saved a thing here as a template. So if I go to new, and I should have one called, it's only a dummy one, so it is. So yeah. So basically, this is an online training letter. Okay, so say this is something that I would maybe send out to clients looking, that are doing an online training with me. So in Microsoft Word, use it from Microsoft Word. Now, the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to put myself offline, because if I don't, a lot of people could get an email that are not meant to. So here I have my document. I'm going to go to mailings, and I'm going to go to start mail merge, and I'm going to go to email messages. So that'll reformat the layout of my document here. Now, I want to be a good girl, and I want to personalize this email, because there's no point in me using mail merge. I could just do one email and BCC it, but I want to send these individually to people, and I want to personalize them. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and I'm going to say select recipients. So if I click on select recipients, and I'm going to say use an existing list. So here I go and I navigate to where my list is. And you think I was organised, wouldn't you? Don't look too closely. And what I have here, I have a spreadsheet. All right. So I open up the spreadsheet, and all I have in the spreadsheet is title, first name, surname, address, and their email address. So I'm opening this up. So I'm linking this to the mail merge. So that's my address list. So I'm then going to click on after good morning, I'm going to go to the insert merge field. I'm going to click on the bottom of the insert merge field, and I'm going to click on title. So I'll have a wee preview. So there is, oh, shouldn't have done title, I should have done first name. I'm waking up yet, so it's first name. So preview, so there I'll see, and if I go through, do you see the individual names? Now, again, when I'm doing this, I have some skills assessment testing coming up for a client. And what I have in that spreadsheet, I have the list of guys that are coming to do the skills assessment. I have their name, I have the day that they're coming, I have the time that they're coming, and I have their email address. So I literally will do this and I'm going to email the information. So I'll just go to my insert merge field and I'll put down the fields that I want at the location I want in my document. It's really, really useful, folks. Right, so there I have personalised, I put in the names here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to finish and merge, and I'm going to say send email messages. So when I click on that, what I have here, this is basically the field in my database or my spreadsheet that I'm going to send to. So that's their email addresses, so it's email. Subject line, I'm going to say online MS Excel training. Okay, we'll pretend it's next week. And again, the default mail format is HTML. That's the standard one. Now, I'm simply going to OK that. Now, watch the names come through. Okay, now I put myself offline there. So I'm going to take you and I'm going to take you to my outbox. And we should see there's 19 emails. There was 19 names in my address list. So if I double click to open that, there we go. Good morning. Well, I know it's afternoon, but as I say, folks, that is how to do mail merge via Outlook. And again, a lot of people don't know how to that you can do that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I use it quite a lot.
It's very useful.
It is. It's brilliant. They don't really teach mail merge very much anymore because
No,
people use
'cause
MailChimp so much.
exactly.
You know.
But again, I've been asked by a number of clients, and one recently that was emailing all the clients to say how many days left, holidays left they have.
Mhm.
And again, they asked me how to do this, so I had to show that. And a lot of people still find this useful,
Yeah.
so they do. You know,
Karina has said that. Karina, are you okay now that you know that you've seen Patricia going through this, or do you still need help with that question on you tried it and it didn't get delivered? Hopefully you're okay. Maybe you said
shout,
that.
Karina. She okay?
Yeah, I know she said that was great, so I think she's
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
brilliant. Okay.
Cool.
And
Cool.
in terms of data protection, we'll not even go there, Justin, okay? So I'm going to close this wee second, okay? And I'm going to skip on into Teams because I want to show you a few wee tips and tricks in using Microsoft Teams. Most people use Microsoft Teams just as a meeting tool, you know, to have meetings. So I want to do a couple of wee shortcuts and tips and tricks. So I'm going to close this Outlook, okay? And again, I'm offline here, so and don't, oh, I will exit and send later. Okay, no, because God knows who's going to get those bloody emails because they're quite similar. Sorry, Justin is who's on here is a data protection expert, and he'll kick my ass for doing that, but he
Oh no,
just ignore it.
absolute opposite. No, the absolute opposite. That is brilliant because one of the things that rules out is that
Good
you
morning.
cannot see other people's emails.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
BCC'd.
It's
Yeah.
because the amount of people, and you and I've talked about this before. The amount of people that send me emails with everybody in the CC field, and that's not
Yeah,
email etiquette,
yeah,
and they're
yeah,
external. So by you doing that there, that guarantees that I will only see the email to me, and it keeps you safer, which is a lot better than sometimes
yeah,
it can happen in the third party tools.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's exactly right, Justin. That's a good tip for our students and who are going out into the world of work and
Yeah.
into employment, actually. And it's good that you've brought up the GDPR thing because it's
Mhm.
something that I stress to them about. You know, when you're in uni, you're just so used to just emailing everybody,
Yeah,
whatever. But when you go out into an employment situation, client confidentiality is important, and who you're copying in and who sees what.
Well,
It's something that you
if you can give
guys
me
you need to
30
think
seconds, I
about.
can actually explain it in very simple terms. If you work in the same organization, you should never send an email to more than 2 people in the to field, and everybody else should be CC. If you're communicating with people outside of your organization, other than your
BCC.
colleagues, you can send it to those people. So you could send it to, like, say Patricia was organizing training with you, she could send you an email and somebody else, and then everybody else must be in BCC without
Yeah,
exception.
Yeah,
Everybody.
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah,
Julie, that's answer. Yeah, BCC is
yeah,
Yeah.
satisfies GDPR.
it
Right, folks.
Well,
If you,
does.
it's actually the Privacy Electronic Communication Regulation, which is a side thing along with
yeah,
GDPR, which covers
Yeah,
all electronic comms.
okay.
great. Right, we
Right,
better keep going. Sorry.
sorry, gonna do a few shortcut in Microsoft Teams here, okay? Down the left-hand side, you have your Teams taskbar and whatnot. Up here, people call this the search bar, okay? I call it the command bar. So what I can do here, okay, I can go in and say, right, okay, so I want to change my status. So I can do slash and type the word away, be right back, busy, etc., etc. Now, so again, that's really the command bar. Now, if you have any apps that you have added to Teams, again, you can apply your apps from the command bar here. So for example, if I do at, I do, oops, if I type the right thing in, places, and again, you can get a location there. So I can say Dungannon. I could do what do you call it? I could do weather, etc. Again from your control. I'll just close that a wee second. If I go here and say at weather, and again, what's the weather like in Dungannon? And you can basically select. So any of the apps that you have added into Teams, you can actually apply here. Now, another thing as well, when you're using I suppose messaging and doing private messages in Team, whether it's private messages or whether it's Team messages, you can get a lot of messages and a lot of hooking through messages to find important ones. So what you can do, you can actually save, okay, save messages. So literally just hover your mouse on a chat or a message, you get your more options. So if you click on that, and I'm sorry, I've already saved that one. So if you go in and say, save this message. So any important messages that you want to save. Now again, so how do I get them again? So using the command bar, I can go here and I can say saved. So that will list all the saved messages. So I don't have to flip and go through all the chat, all the messages. Again, that is really, really useful, folks. And again, right, so let's say in a team and that, let's say you want to, I'll go to chat for, you want to maybe do, say, a message to everybody, or you want to do an announcement. So just below the message option, you have your format. And again, one of the things that I'm constantly asking teams is, how do you type a message and not press your enter key for the message to be sent? So if you do like one, press your enter key, basically your message will go. Now, if you click on the little format tool below the message, that will allow you to type what you want and then send, okay, without you physically doing one word, one line, and then sending it. But you also, again, in here, you can do different things here. So you can apply different headings, okay, and do your standard, basically your standard formatting tools within Messenger. Now, folks, I'm gonna discard that a wee second because I want to shoot over to the meeting control bar inside of Teams. So I'm gonna change my share here. And again, I just change over share, okay? So I'm going to look very briefly at the meeting controls here, okay? So you all know in terms of you've got your participants down the right hand side. And what you can do, if you want to pull somebody else into the meeting, you can say share invite, or you can type a name in to pull somebody else into the meeting. The other thing you can do here, right, let's say that you're doing training, and the company or organization, they want an attendance list sent to them. Now you'll find on any meeting now that the attendance list is generated automatically, but if you want to generate one yourself, just from the participant pane there, you can click there, and you see where it says download attendance list. That will go directly into your computer, into your downloads folder. And again, you can pass that on to the client. Folks, that is time stamped. So if you're on training and you decide I'm popping out, I'm switching the camera off, they'll never know I'm not there. If you pop out, come back in half an hour later, it says so-and-so joined at whatever time, so-and-so left at whatever time, so-and-so joined at whatever time. So just making you aware of that, okay? Now, the other thing I'm sure you've used breakout rooms. I want to go to the more options here, okay? Now, in terms of changing the different, I suppose, gallery settings, the default gallery setting is really for people that have their camera on. Now, there's only a couple that have their camera on here. And Brenda, I'll not repeat that. And then you can go in and you can change your different modes here. Now, what I'm going to go to the share option here. Now, from the share, okay, you'll notice, and again, this is something Jackie did earlier. Jackie shared a PowerPoint presentation, okay? Now, from the share option, in the newer versions, you have the option for PowerPoint Live. Okay, so what does PowerPoint Live do? How does we benefit from this? So I'm literally just going to open this. It's just a wee short presentation. It's only a couple of slides here. I'm just opening it for demonstration purposes. So got me PowerPoint Live here now. Okay, so we have little short presentation saying the differences between SharePoint and OneDrive. Now, folks, any of you that are viewing this, you can actually navigate through this yourselves. Do you notice the arrow? The arrows at the bottom, so you can physically navigate through that. Now, if I'm delivering a presentation and I want to talk about the presentation, there is a little standout mode at the top of the screen, two to the right of where it says presenter mode. So I'm going to click on that. So I can go and say, do you see this? Do you see that? Okay. Now, again, at the bottom of the presentation, the other thing I want you to see, if you're in an environment where maybe you're not English speaking and you want to translate a presentation into a different language. Now, this is really useful if you're in a business environment where you're doing training and a lot of your employees don't have English as a first language. You can present the likes of this using PowerPoint Live. At the bottom, and if you're sitting in front of your slides there, can you see the option? Below the slide, you should get your three wee dots, more options. Do you see where it says translate slide? So you can go in and everybody can go in and translate to their own language. That is really, really useful, folks. I'm very aware of the time here. Jackie, I've done the same thing again.
I know you're okay. Guys, are you enjoying this? Do you want just to go for another 5 minutes? We did start a wee bit late because people were getting their cups of tea and stuff. So look, we'll do another 5 minutes if you're
Right.
okay with that, Patricia.
No,
Because
absolutely
this is
no.
the last session of the day. So
No problem at
yeah,
all. Y'all have, folks,
we're
any
learning
folks,
so much, so why not?
good, brilliant. Are you all, as I say, you're all happy enough? How are you feeling about Teams?
So one of the things I should say is in Ulster University, we have the education version
Yeah,
of Teams. So we don't have all the features that I have
that
and you have
yeah,
on the business
yes,
version at
yes,
home.
yeah, yeah,
We don't have the call function. We don't have the chat function yet. There's certain apps that our ISD department
yeah,
controls so that we don't have all of them. But for this is really good training for those who are going out into placement or into graduate jobs where they will be working in an environment where they'll have the full version of Teams and they will not have
brilliant,
maybe seen some of these things before in uni.
brilliant.
but
Brilliant.
this is a great experience for them to get an understanding of it, so when they go out into the world of work, it'll not be completely alien.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
no,
yeah.
this
And
is
everybody uses Teams, yeah.
yeah,
So, okay,
so
so what I'll
super.
do, I'll go and share again, I'll share the Teams taskbar. And again, I want to run through just a couple of things here in terms, are you all okay with me doing Teams, or anybody want me to go back over or do a different application? Are you all okay with Teams? Yeah, brilliant. So again, as I say, you know, you've got the Teams app here. Now, what are Teams task pane on the left hand side? What I would recommend, okay, if you download just a standard version of Teams, go into the calendar and go in and say meet now. Go through all the different tasks that you have on the meetings taskbar. So when you go to meet now, it basically will allow you to go into a brand new meeting with yourself. Be a Billy No Mate. It's great. I do it all the time. Go in, do screen dumps, stuff like that. Go in, test out all the different controls. Now, the other thing as well, come back to the meeting control. Now, again, sorry, I'll just share this again. Here, sorry for jumping back and forth, but it's just a couple of things I want you to um, look at. Right, you see when you're sitting and maybe that, let's say you're going for an interview and you're sitting thinking, oh God, what happens if my camera doesn't work, blah, blah. Now, if you're sitting with no camera on, all right, now you've got your camera here. When your camera is switched off, if you hover your mouse on the little camera command, when the camera is switched off, you get the option for setting up or applying a background effect. So if you're going in for an interview and you're thinking, oh crap, there's a pile of dishes behind me, okay, check out the camera. You don't actually have to switch it on. Hover your mouse on that wee camera setting. You'll see the option to apply a background effect. You can apply the background effect, be happy with it, and then go in and switch your camera on. Okay, that is really useful. Okay, a lot of people mess about with that at the very start. And another wee tip, folks, okay, when you're going online, and let's say that you're going to have to share things with somebody, or there's a possibility you're going to have to share online, and you maybe are going to have to share two documents. Do you all know how to split your screen? I would assume in university you do know how to split your screen. Seamus, you've just failed that. That was your test, and you have just failed that.
Oh,
Right.
Seamus.
Folks, this is really useful for any of you at any time, not even, you know, even just working. If you've only one screen, okay, hold down the Windows key. Let's say you've two documents open. Hold down the Windows key, you know, the four wee squares between Control and Alt. Use the arrow keys. So select one document, hold the Windows key down, let's say press the left arrow. So that'll split the document to one half of the screen. Choose the other document, press the Windows key and use the right arrow and position, say, the other document on the right hand side. And you can happily then go and share your screen with whoever on the other side, and you literally can navigate down both documents. Again, I've had to do that recently where I had to facilitate an AGM for an organisation that I do some work for. We had the agenda that people wanted to see, and we had the uh, report. So I was able to split my screen. I'm working with two screens anyhow, but I was able to split the other one screen where I had the two documents side by side, and I was able to move down the agenda and move down the report at the same time. That is really useful, folks. Try that out yourselves. So, what do we think? Have I bored you long enough? There's a lot covered, as I say, we've done. Um,
I think that's absolutely brilliant. Some amazing tips and tricks there. And as I said to you before,
thanks.
Patricia, you're always learning new
Yeah,
things and I
always.
think the thing is, Microsoft are always, I keep in touch with Tech Radar and stuff to see what the latest updates are. They're just bringing up out new and more new stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Every month there's
yeah.
something new, so it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Uh,
a new thing, and sorry for interrupting you there, just
that's
when you're
okay.
talking about new things, Jackie,
Mhm.
um, in Teams, the transcription is fairly new in Teams on the proper version. I don't mean the proper version, but the, the full version.
Oh, no, I
Um,
know. Yeah,
so the transcription, but you need to go back into the admin area to switch it on. It's
yeah,
not on by default.
yeah.
So it's quite useful as well if you need a record, but you'll start getting paranoid when you read what you've just said.
I know.
So
Well, listen, thank you so much. Do you want to stop sharing? And I'm just going to,
sorry.
guys, I'm just going to, no, you're okay. I'm just going to pop up this, the last slide here of the day. So you should see that. So, yes, so this is what's coming up tomorrow, guys. So yesterday and today was all things digital. Tomorrow is all things leadership, resilience, and so on. So do go in and check those out. And there's a QR code there you can scan. Patricia, this has the last 2 hours, well, 2.5 hours, whatever, has been phenomenal. We've learned so much. Your amount of information, as Justin said, and ball of energy, and just like me, a complete geek when it comes to it. But we're proud of that, aren't we,
Yeah,
Patricia?
we very much, very much.
Yes. So it's been really useful. I think the students have really enjoyed it. Guys, just to remind you that if you want to watch these sessions again, because we did go quite fast, so if you want to go through them again, just check out Skills Week website, watch again from tomorrow, or check out our YouTube channel, Careers at Ulster, and you'll get all of the recorded sessions from this week there to watch at your leisure. Guys, thank you. We hope you've been enjoying these sessions. Big round of applause to Patricia, and we
Thank
hope
you,
to see
Jackie.
you back again for more sessions. I think we would all love to have you back to do some more training. It's been
Thank you
so
so
good.
much, Jackie. Thanks a million. Thanks for inviting me. I've really enjoyed it. So
Good. And you weren't
nice meeting
nervous.
everybody. No, not at all. I don't
Okay.
normally take any more. The thing about it is my training, I restrict my training to 10 people where business is concerned. Now I get the odd one where it's 11 and 12, but that is my limit. And I goes to Jackie, how many's on today? And she
30,
goes,
32,
"Oh,
35.
drop,
Yeah.
but no, it was all good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I really appreciate it,
Great.
Jackie. Thank you so much.
No problem.